So welcome to the new SLA. If you've been around this winter, you have noticed that we've been doing quite a bit of construction and working out of a trailer as we really go to town on the building and upgrading the building and preparing it to sort of fit the new size that we've become over time. So what I'm going to do today is give you a little tour. By the time you see this, perhaps in real life, it's moving so quickly that hopefully what you see if you arrive here in late June or July is a building that is ready to go. We're trying to get this done as quickly as possible so we can hit the summer season at full stride. Of course, we haven't stopped working all winter. We're just doing it's a lot more inconvenient. But as we have been growing, the SLA is now 10 to 12 permanent employees, another 12 AmeriCorps throughout the course of the year. We have found that the building, which was huge, no longer fit us. So we have the SLCS on one side of us, the Conservation Society. We also have Shakurawa Chapel. There's a new organization of the past few years, the Archives. And we've been housing all of this, including ourselves. And at this point, we've had employees on top of each other. It's 2 to an office in many cases, and it's been a little bit hard to function. So this was a necessary step, particularly as the SLA has been growing from an organization that helps access, that does some water quality and talks about what you can do to save the lake. We're still doing that, but we're also now being a lot more aggressive and a lot more proactive in our ability to protect the lake. And this building is the launch pad for these efforts that we've really grown into doing. So the room that I'm standing in right now is where the Lakes Region Conservation Corps historically have been for the past 5 years. This is their room, and this will continue to be their room. So this is a conference room at the very end, right next to the SLCS building, which is on this side. And this rebuild is going to affect them. Of course, they've had to live through this, but also they're going to be gaining extra square footage as the building enlarges. So their capacity in terms of their building space is also going to go up. And then we work together so well as these two groups, with the SLA really working out on the trails and out on the water and doing a lot of outreach, and the SLCS doing an absolutely incredible job protecting the landscape, and so putting easements on the pieces that will really protect Squam well into the future. And we work so well that we're actually going to be connecting the two offices on the interior. So that the flow is, which already exists on a working level, will also exist in this metaphorical reality as well. So we're excited for that. So this is going to be a work area, and as we walk out here, there will be a door to the SLCS right there. The other amazing thing that we have is the great room has doubled in size, and it doubled in size without us raising the roof. We just took out the ceiling, and this already exists. So the great room, in terms of a meeting area, will be as large as the barn has been before it, only here we will have the view of the lake. So this will become really an exceptional community space, certainly great for annual meetings or large gatherings, but also as a place to hang out or a place for other community groups to come in and use. So between this and the barn, the SLA is really increasing its footprint and its ability to host other groups doing things. And this is really part of our access mission. We really want this. This was conceptualized as sort of a gateway to the lake originally, and we really think that we're fulfilling that even more robustly now by increasing the size of the great room, by bringing more groups in, by being able to interpret what we do better in this space. So if the great room was a big part of the public space, this too is a big part of the public space. So in the SLA, that you visited this fall, this of course was the door into the office part of the organization. We're really increasing the public flow through here, so that we've really opened up the stairwell going downstairs, and this will be part of the major flow. And we have been able to put in a conference room here as well. So we've increased more public meeting space, more workspace, more places to enjoy the lake from. So this whole part, from this wall basically that way, is significantly public. And even this side, which is offices, because of the amount of glass that we're using in an attempt to get light throughout the building, is going to hopefully be much more open and a much more friendly experience for people who are coming in to work with us. One of the things that we did, because we were on top of each other, is we better used the space that was given to us. So we moved all of the corridors into the interior so that we're able to get office space on either side. So we effectively were able to double the office space on the same footprint that we've had. And one of the things about this building is that we are on the same footprint. We did push out to where the balconies used to be to gain a little bit more interior space. But the roof didn't raise, the building didn't really grow. It's just a different utilization of what we had. Hopefully a lot more effectively given the new size that we're working at. So on this level, where we used to have the hallway that ran along the front of the building with the windows and the offices sort of pushed back in little fish bowls, we switched the orientation of the hallway so it came inside, the offices went out so that they're much more proximate to the lake with some storage in here. And so this is where, of course, a lot of the work will get done. This is going to be where the shared office space is with the organizations that we work with, Shakura Chapel, and with the archives. So we've increased our ability to house those groups much more comfortably, as well as giving ourselves the space. And this is also where it gets very interesting in terms of the functionality of this building to really drive our mission. So if upstairs we have great interpretive space, great classrooms, great meeting space, down here we are going to have incredible laboratory space. So we're all about clean water, and one of the challenges to us is we take lots of water samples, but you have to deliver them to the University of New Hampshire. There's a lot of delay before that comes back as they try to process us and every other lake, and the actionable information can be late or low. As part of this campaign that we've been working on, we have really increased the level of science that we're doing so that our laboratory looks a lot like UNH's laboratory. The equipment is very similar. We're working with PSU to really do great science here on the lake, and then probably more importantly, to put that science into action immediately on the lake. So last year we did 3 big restoration projects. This year, 3 minimally, but maybe as many as 6 large restoration projects are going to get done. And that's in addition to the 60-odd new water quality sites we put on top of the 18 we used to do. We're going to be working with folks around the lake to get lake smart so that people can really take responsibility and help us on their own little patch of Squam, help us get the water clearer and better for longer. So we'll be doing that. And this is going to be the brains of it. So this area, which used to be a shop and used to be a gear room, has been really opened up and will be a classroom laboratory. So we'll have the equipment that we need to get the water quality data that we want very quickly, because we'll be doing it ourselves. It will be a little bit of a hub for the area, so we've been working with PSU. In fact, we've already started running some classes with them out on the lake this year. So this will be somewhat of a field station. It will also give us some ability to help run other lakes' water quality. So for instance, we have the ability to run cyanobacteria in 15 minutes here. So rather than driving it all the way to Concord and back, we can look at it here, and we can do that for other people as well. So this will be the basis for that. It will be a wet lab, but also a place where classes can come in and learn about it. So that's probably one of the most exciting pieces that we've got going on. And then when you get down in here, this is the access point. That used to be just a little door in the middle of the building. Now you can come in here, get out of the rain, see the lake. The bathrooms are in here. One of the very exciting things about this project is we're really bringing access in a meaningful way to the SLA on a lot of different levels. So the facility will be able to hold more people. We'll be able to do more classroom stuff. We're going to be able to do better science, but also, you know, I've been talking about this capital campaign. You might look at the building and say, oh, well, that's the capital campaign. The building is not actually the majority of the capital campaign. We've been trying to raise $5.6 million in order to bring clean water. And of that 5.6, really only 0.6 is coming, it was the donation piece of that. So the SLA was able to leverage our conservation fund and the growth that that's had, but also a $1 million grant from the CDFA in order to really create public space. One of the things about that is as we do it, it is to really open it up to all people. So this is going to be extremely accessible. And part of that is going to be the lift here, so that you could get wheelchairs up through the levels, up and down, so there'll be good access at both levels of the SLA as we do that. So that's an exciting piece that is coming in. So in fact, every area that we are touching right now is going to be accessible, and that includes the barn. So we've been working a little bit on the barn in order to winterize it, to try to extend the season with it so that we can teach more than just in the summer, make it safe when the roof's under snow, and also just comfortable throughout the whole fall and spring and maybe even pieces of the winter. But all of it is going to be ADA, so that's been a big part of what we're doing. One of the challenges, of course, that everyone knows of in New Hampshire is where do you keep people? How can you, if you have a summer force, like where do you house them? How do you house your staff? It's a tremendously difficult issue for us. Certainly we have an amazing partnership with Betsy's Park, and that has been game-changing for us, for the AmeriCorps, but we have all kinds of staff, from JSLA to itinerant trail crew groups that work their way through. The NCCC that for the last 3 years has helped us build Rattlesnake, has helped us course some trails up in the wilderness, helped us build the bike trail at Witten, Eastman Brook, over where the SLCS was. You have to house all of those folks. And so we've always had a very small apartment here. And one of the things we've been able to do is make it larger so it could be potentially more of a dorm, so that you could put those trail groups in here, or you could bridge someone if you had a new employee who was coming from somewhere else. So we have much better space sort of throughout the entire system. The SLA has grown a bit in footprint, but not as much as it looks like. We've just come out to the footprint that we had. We've added the 2 towers on the sides, one for access, one for meeting space. It is still going to blend back into the environment, so it'll still go with the low visibility brown and the gray, so it shouldn't pop too much. The way the building was built before and the way we used it was the back was always a flow through, so we would pull our boats here and we would do work on them. Basically lots of construction, lots of stuff right here. A little closer to the lake than really we're comfortable with, but now all that is moving down to where the barn is, where we have excellent space, so that's being turned on there as well. And then this space becomes leveraged as education space, meeting space, hangout space, gets grassed, gets picnic tables, and becomes a better launching pad, a more friendly area for the public as we move out into the lake.